Hey, Pepin.
Yo, yo.
I've been thinking a lot lately about night sleeping.
Night sleeping?
Yeah, you know how sometimes people sleep at nighttime?
Yeah, most people do, but some people have jobs and they can't sleep then. But yeah,
I mean, sometimes when you like go over people's houses, they have different sleep. They sleep different, or they don't, or you just don't sleep.
yeah. I have those issues sometimes. If I go sleep over someone's place, it's like I can't really sleep. Like there's too many things that are just strange with it.
Yeah, or they don't let you sleep. Have you ever had times like that?
No, have you?
Oh, Nate, we need to talk. Welcome back. So glad you guys could join us. I am here once again with my best friend and sleeping compatriot, Pepin. Pepin, time to wake up. The mics are live. How are you?
I'm doing well, and I'm not sleeping at all. I'm actually overly caffeinated right now and having a hard time keeping my train of thought, so be on the lookout.
I will be aware of the train and where it may or may not be. It could be a freight train on a dirt road.
Really?
It could be. I don't know. It depends how powerful your thoughts are. Now, the topic of the day today is sleepover stories. Now, when is the last time you had a sleepover?
I think it was at your house. I mean, so a sleepover with me going over somebody's place, or me having someone over at my place.
Let's say either.
So last sleepover I had was with my girlfriend, and she came over here and she slept over, pretty standard. But then me going to someone else's house was actually your house, and we recorded some stuff there.
That sounds right.
Yeah, it was alright. It was cool.
It was all right. So tell me about what are some general oddities with sleeping over people's house? What are some sticking points that make it a little bit weird?
So one thing is what I used to pull. So with you used to sleep over my house quite a bit, and I wouldn't really provide you with pillows, blankets, or anything. It's like figure it out.
Yeah, I
And
remember.
I wasn't very I've gone from like being very unconscientious to overly conscientious. Like, oh, here's a toothbrush, a spare one, this new one. Don't feel afraid to use it. But so I've gone from that to that. But back in the day, I wasn't very courteous.
No, it was pretty brutal. It was pretty brutal. I don't know. Find it. Find it? You want me to find pillows in your house and just take them? How am I supposed to know where they are?
It wasn't even like find. It's like this isn't really my concern here.
Yes. Okay. So sleeping aids, like things that you need in order to sleep, when people don't bring you blankets and pillows and stuff like that. I think that everybody's dealt with that at some point. An unconscious host. What about like showering and bathroom related stuff? Typically in the morning after a sleepover.
Like having a spare towel.
Yeah. Like when people don't have the what you need in order to do whatever you do. I know I would rather just wait till I get home to shower, depending on how long I'm staying at their house. But if I'm going to leave in the morning, I would probably just shower when I get home versus having to, do dirty something for somebody else.
Yeah. I think so. Some people just only have one towel in their apartment or their house, and I find that very strange. So definitely, just as a human being, have like at least 4 towels. That way, if 2 are dirty, you have 1 left over for your guest, and have it ready for them. Don't have them find it like, oh, hey, here's a towel if you want to shower, and here's a face cloth if you want that. The shower works like this. You show them how it works. And you say, don't take a bath because that's weird if you take a bath in my house, but you can take a shower.
Could that be? Could showing them how the shower works? You're like, welcome to my house. Here's the kitchen. Here's the bathroom. Here's how the shower works. Like, is that not a little weird, and B might be a little presumptuous and kind of condescending?
So you show them the shower, like if they're going to take a shower. And what you say is, even if your shower's not weird, you say, my shower's a little weird. And people have a hard time getting used to it, so you show them it.
Okay.
because it's one of those things where it's an ordinary shower. It's pretty basic, but you want to show them it because otherwise they're not going to be able to figure it out.
And everybody has different. So that's putting the onus on yourself to say, "Hey, this is normal if you don't get it, but if you do, then you're above average." So it's like adds a positive spin to it. I like that. Now, if everybody's eating schedules are a little different and how they handle all of that, how do you manage the eating schedules when you're sleeping over somebody's house? Is it should people be vocal about that, or what are your thoughts on that?
So my thoughts on that are a little complicated because I think you need to like prepare stuff for them. And like I've been over people's houses, and this is my big gripe is people will say, "Oh, just make yourself at home and just eat whatever you want. Feel free to raid the fridge and the stuff." And that I don't think is the way to do it because I don't feel comfortable going to somebody's pantry and taking what they want or taking what I want because it's not my personality. It doesn't jive with me. Like I've gone like hungry at people's houses because they've done that, and chances are, I mean, this is always my fear. Like they say, take whatever you want, but then you take one thing and they really wanted that thing. Like maybe there's some drink in there. You drink it, and it's like I was saving that for later, and it's always going to be that, no matter what you do.
No matter what, that's the thing you're gonna get.
So I don't even I mean I even have the story about how I was at my sister-in-law's house watching the baby, and she's like, "Oh yeah, just make the baby some food." And I've never like done babysitting or
So
anything
you
like
made
that.
spaghetti.
And she's like, "Oh yeah, and just make yourself some food if you want it." And I didn't feel comfortable giving the baby anything or going in and just making something. I mean, we had some like little leftover snacks from before, so that's what I gave it. But it's like I don't know what to make the baby. I don't know what to make myself. I don't feel comfortable just going through your fridge and grabbing whatever. Because I don't know, it's just weird.
You could have made the baby a nice steak. I bet he would have appreciated that.
You think babies can chew steak?
Depends how many teeth they have.
Good question.
Did you check
answer.
its mouth?
No.
Check his mouth and find out how many teeth. More than 6, they're ready for steak.
I think he had a full head of teeth.
Wow, that's a lot of teeth.
Yeah. I mean, they're all over the place.
Time for a good steak dinner. So, do you have a particular story about an odd sleepover in some way?
I think I do, but before I go in there, what's your biggest gripe with sleepovers?
Sleeping, waking up in the morning and like either being the first one. I always feel like I'm gonna be the last one awake, and then everybody's gonna have to wait for me. But then I wake up too early, and then I'm up before everybody else, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm sitting on my phone for the next 6 hours.
Yeah, that's a good point. Something I didn't think about because that's what happens. Either that or people wake up way too early in the house. It's either you get up way too early or they get up at 5 a.m. and make breakfast.
Would it be reasonable to set a time? Be like, hey, let's get up at 10.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree, but I'm thinking more back to like sleeping over like people's house where they have like it's like your friend's house and they have like parents in there, or maybe other roommates where they get up at whatever time they want. So sure, you and your friends set that time, and maybe that friend can wake up at that time because they're used to living in that house. But with you not being familiar, it's like if someone's making breakfast in the kitchen at 5 a.m., you're gonna get up to that. Like even the smell of sausage alone.
Okay. So, so you have an awkward story.
I do. It's a very strange story. This happened a while back, and it was. So I had a friend, Nick, and Nick and I used to be friends in this was like 4th grade, and he eventually moved away, and we still hung out from time to time, and we'd plan out times, and he made another friend group over at the new place. It was maybe like an hour away or something, not too far, but I went over there one time, and he brought his other friend, so it was like me and his other friend who I didn't know, and his other friend was cool enough, we got along just fine. We had some fun games. But where it got kind of weird is we slept and we had a sleepover, and his friend was an avid sleep talker.
Okay.
Not just like he's very involved dreams, and huge, big storylines. Like he would talk back in his sleep. So he started talking in his sleep, and I was just kind of like, I couldn't sleep because it's just a different environment. And so I'm just like, listening to him and just watching him. And there was these complex storylines about like, I have to destroy the gerbils because the gerbils are going to get after me. And he was like the priest of darkness and going after them. And we're kind of nerdy, so it's kind of fit in with the culture we're in. But it's like at some point I started talking back to him and he started responding. And we had these whole conversations and I was interacting with his dream and kind of being aware of what his dream was. And he would keep on waking up, periodically. And I wouldn't tell him he was dreaming. And then he would go back to sleep and it happened again. And this went on throughout the whole night. And somehow my friend, Nick, he was just passed out. Like, he didn't wake up. His mom, he lived with his mom. His mom wasn't waking up. I mean, this kid wasn't being like super loud, but he wasn't being silent. Mm-hmm. And the whole sleepover was like him just talking in his sleep.
And, well, you guys talking in his sleep.
Well, Nick was asleep. Mm-hmm. The other friend was asleep as well. He was sleep talking, but Nick wasn't aware of any of this.
Give Nick's friend a name.
Jake.
So you and Jake were talking in Jake's sleep.
Yeah. And I was making things worse in the dream.
Wait, you were being a dick too? You were trolling him in his dream?
I mean, I was creating dramatic suspense.
You were entertaining yourself at his expense.
So it's like, oh, we're going to attack the gerbils. Oh no, the gerbils have horses now. They're gerbils riding horses.
Okay. How did this resolve?
Usually it wouldn't resolve very well. I mean, he'd usually wake up at some point. I mean, it's always like an ever-evolving dream and more plot items to it.
Did he remember the dreams?
Kind of. So this is where it gets interesting. There was a point where he had a few dreams, and I'd always introduce myself as like Nathan in the dreams. Like, who are you? I'm like, I'm Nathan. He's like, oh, hi, Nathan. And then at one point in the dream, it's like, who are you? I'm Nathan. It's like, I think I recognize you from before. And where it got a little too serious is there's a dream where I was, I entered myself into the dream, and
wait, hold on.
It's like
a video game.
So I became, so he's like, who are you? I'm like, I'm Nathan. And he's like, okay, I'm like here to fight you. He's like, okay, I'm going to fight you. And so we started having like an imaginary fight. But the problem was like, he wasn't paralyzed during this dream, and he actually started punching the wall.
Oh my.
Punching, like not like super hard, but hard enough to like make sounds. Mm-hmm. And I was like, shit, he's going to hurt himself. Mm-hmm. Like, this is a little weird. And anyway, so eventually I'd fall asleep and the night ends and he's up. I don't know if he kept on sleep talking during the night, but he might have. But I talked to him about it the next day. I talked to Nick as well because Nick didn't see any of it. And Jake, he remembered dreaming stuff. That was kind of weird, but he didn't like have a good recall of it or anything. I think I may have told him at one point during the night he was sleep talking. But to this day, I'm not sure if he was messing with me or if he was legit sleep talking like that. Because from my perspective, he was legit sleep talking. Mm. But it's very possible he was messing with me. But then again, why would he be punching the walls? That's kind of ridiculous.
Well, maybe he was really, really selling it. Clearly it worked, right?
Yes, it did. It's just so strange. I mean, I've dealt with sleep talkers before, and it seemed like a sleep talker. I mean, it's possible he was coming up with this stuff on his own. But it did seem like I was interacting with a dreamer from my perspective. Have you ever had like interactions with sleep talkers?
My little brother Brian, he used to sleep talk a bit. And I remember one time he was talking about dinosaur skateboarding. Oh, and man. we were trying to like be like, oh yeah, now there's a whole skate park of them, and like bring him into the dream more and kind of like make the dream fun. But he didn't grasp onto it at all. He just kept talking about a teen sale.
A teen sale?
Yeah, I remember that very vividly. He kept saying the
teen
sale, the teens, there's a sale, the teen sale. I don't understand why, but that's really the only sleep talking that I'm familiar with. I think my sister Ashley used to sleep talk, but I was never privy to that. I guess one time sleeping over our cousin's house, Just in the middle of the night, she just screamed, "Get the frig off me, Lori!" Like out of nowhere. Everyone's like, "What is she talking about?" But
funny.
other than that, no. I have a video on YouTube called "The Sleep Talker." That's pretty funny and explores the sleep talking in a way.
I've not really slept talk as far as I'm aware, but what I have done before is I've like had dreams where it's like my mom's trying to wake me up, and her trying to wake me up becomes part of the dream. I mean, not her particularly, but like it's that cliche, that dumb cliche of like, honey, wake up, wake up, wake up, and it's just someone in the dream just telling you to wake up all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Or like maybe the clouds part and God's telling you to wake up or something. It's something dumb where. So I've had that happen. People kind of interacting with my dreams if I'm slowly waking up, but nothing like full-fledged sweet talking as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, I think you've mumbled, but I don't remember hearing you ever talk. And we lived together in college, so I would have known pretty quickly.
I don't think you ever talked either. I mean, from what I remember, I think you just sleep. Like you're a pretty good sleeper, I think.
Usually, yeah.
I'm jealous.
Most people are. It was one time me and my friend were hanging out and, doing drugs or whatever. I don't even remember. In my mom's basement. And we were just hanging out. And then another acquaintance called and was like, "Hey, so you guys are hanging out, wanna hang out?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean you can come over, but one of my family members has a medical procedure like first thing in the morning and they have to be up early, so we have to be silent. So don't come over fucking drunk as shit and be loud, and I will kick you out of my house." So he came over drunk as shit and was super loud and was like almost falling down the stairs to get into the basement. And so we were sitting around smoking, and he was just drinking. He didn't want to smoke. He just wanted to drink his fucking nasty like Bud Light or PBR or whatever. And we're having like a conversation about like, let's say Pink Floyd or whatever. And then all of a sudden he's like, "So which of the people that we went to high school with do you think's gonna die first?" We're like, "Oh, what the fuck, dude? We're just trying to have a good time." He's like, "Yeah, I think about it all the time. Like, who's gonna kill themselves?" Like, Jesus Christ, dude, this is not. I'm like, "All right, you need to like fucking chill out." So we eventually it's time to lay down, and we're trying to go to bed, and he gets up, and he's like, "All right, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm gonna be sick." Makes it halfway up the stairs and fucking pukes all over the stairs.
Oh man.
Nasty, like shitty beer, and he had eaten steak tips that night, so that was all over the place, like half chewed. And I'm like, "You have to fucking clean that up." So he was loud, obnoxious. It was the worst sleepover experience. He was the worst guest I've ever had.
Yeah, that sounds pretty bad.
Yeah, it was absolutely awful. And of course, I think we've told on the pod before about the time that me and Melcher and you were at your house, and the butter in the ear and the chocolate strawberry syrup or whatever.
Yeah.
I think we've told that story.
Was it me, Melcher, that pissed you off for the phone?
Yes. Yes, it was. I remember that vaguely, but plenty.
We kept on putting like a phone in your like by your ear. And
You kept putting it like under my pillow and stuff. Just like then paging it from the main place. So it just beep, 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 beep.
Oh my god. I don't know why my parents didn't kill us, because they should have, because we were being fucking loud and obnoxious.
They should have, is right.
But they just kind of like didn't care or something. Strange. That was episode 1 of Sleepover Stories. If you want to hear more, definitely check us out at twitter.com/WNTT1 or facebook.com/We Need to Talk Show. We also have a Patreon where you can donate to us, and be on the lookout for part 2. It will be coming next week, and it's going to be featuring a gang war or something. Yeah, a gang war. I'm not kidding. A gang war. See you then. We need to talk.
Hey, Pepin.
Yo.
Do you usually subscribe to entire podcasts, or do you look for specific topics?
Well, I try using the search function on my podcast player on my phone. It doesn't work too well. Try using Google. It's not really set up for it, so I honestly have trouble.
Why don't you just use Listen Notes?
Listen Notes. What's that?
It's a search engine for podcasts that doesn't just search for the terms you're looking for in the title of the episode or the title of the podcast, but from inside the episode itself. Meaning, if you're looking for a specific topic, you can find specific podcast episodes that are about that topic.
That sounds a lot easier than spending the hours and hours I have just trying to find exact right keywords to actually get it to bring up the episode. I mean, usually I just get like a million how to start your own podcast articles. It's really annoying. So that sounds a lot better.
Exactly. When you're looking for something to listen to, just go to listennotes.com, type in a topic you're interested in, and you'll get instant gratification, useful results. That's listennotes.com. Check it out now.